Welcome to a journey through time. We're going back thousands of years. Before the arrival of European explorers, a different world existed. This is the story of the land that would become the United States of America, a story often untold, but no less remarkable. Imagine North America before European contact. Vast forests teeming with wildlife, endless plains roamed by massive herds of bison, crystal-clear rivers teemed with fish, providing sustenance for generations. This was a land of abundance, a land that nurtured a remarkable diversity of human life. The first humans to set foot on this continent were not passive inhabitants. They were skilled hunters, resourceful gatherers, and ingenious innovators. They adapted to the challenges of diverse environments. The story of the first Americans begins thousands of years ago. During the last ice age, a land bridge called Beringia connected Asia and North America. Across this bridge, a hardy group of people ventured into a new world. These were the ancestors of the indigenous people of the Americas. Their journey was not for the faint of heart. It was a perilous trek across a frozen landscape, driven by the need to find new hunting grounds and resources. They carried with them their families, their belongings, and their hopes for a better future. Imagine yourself as an archaeologist, carefully brushing away layers of earth. Each layer represents centuries, even millennia. You're searching for clues, for remnants of a time long past. The story of the first Americans is like this archaeological dig, piecing together fragments of evidence to understand their lives. The physical evidence of these early inhabitants is scattered and often fleeting. Stone tools, crafted with remarkable skill, offer a glimpse into their daily lives. These tools, shaped for hunting, butchering, and crafting, are testaments to their ingenuity and resourcefulness. Life for the first Americans revolved around the hunt. They were masters of their environment, tracking and bringing down prey with remarkable skill. These were not simply acts of survival, but intricate dances between humans and nature. The megafauna of the Pleistocene epoch, creatures like mammoths, mastodons, and giant sloths, presented both opportunities and challenges. These massive animals provided abundant food, but hunting them required courage, coordination, and a deep understanding of their behavior. Archaeological evidence suggests that Paleo-Indians used a variety of hunting techniques. The first Americans were not a monolithic group. As they spread across the Americas, they encountered a diverse range of environments, each presenting unique challenges and opportunities. From the icy plains of the Arctic to the lush forests of the eastern woodlands, they adapted their lifestyles and cultures to thrive in these new settings. In the Arctic, they developed specialized tools and techniques for hunting marine mammals like seals and walruses, braving the icy waters to secure vital resources. They crafted warm clothing from animal skins and built shelters that provided protection from the harsh elements. In the eastern woodlands, they learned to exploit the abundance of the forests. Around 13,000 years ago, a new technology emerged that would revolutionize hunting practices across North America, the Clovis point. This distinctive spear point, characterized by its fluted base and finely crafted edges, represents a significant leap in human ingenuity and craftsmanship. The Clovis point spread rapidly across the continent, appearing at archaeological sites from present-day Florida to Montana. Its widespread adoption suggests a high degree of mobility and communication among these early Americans, as well as a shared understanding of its effectiveness in hunting. The story of the first Americans is not just a tale of ancient history, it's a story that continues to resonate today. Their legacy lives on in the diverse indigenous cultures of the Americas, in their languages, traditions, and spiritual beliefs. They were the original stewards of this land, shaping its landscapes and ecosystems for thousands of years. Their deep connection to the natural world, their understanding of the delicate balance of life, offers valuable lessons for our own time. As the last ice age receded, a profound shift began to shape the lives of people in the Americas. The nomadic lifestyle honed over millennia gradually gave way to a more settled existence. This transformation was driven by a revolutionary innovation: agriculture. Around 8,000 years ago, in various parts of North America, people began to cultivate plants for food. This wasn't a sudden revolution, but a gradual process of observation, experimentation, and adaptation. They noticed which plants grew best in certain areas, how to save seeds for future planting, and how to manage the land for optimal yields. With the advent of agriculture, a new chapter began to unfold in the story of the first Americans. Villages, once temporary encampments, took on a more permanent character. Homes, built from wood, earth, and other local materials, dotted the landscape. These dwellings, often clustered together for security and social interaction, marked a departure from the nomadic lifestyle of their ancestors. Village life fostered a sense of community and shared identity. People lived in closer proximity, working together to cultivate crops, hunt, and maintain their settlements. This led to the development of more sophisticated social structures, with families and clans forming the building blocks of these early societies. In the fertile river valleys of the eastern woodlands, a distinctive cultural tradition began to take shape. This region, encompassing much of the eastern United States, provided an ideal environment for the development of agriculture and the rise of complex societies. The people of the eastern woodlands developed a deep understanding of their environment, mastering the art of forest management. They used controlled burns to clear undergrowth, promote the growth of desirable plants, and attract game animals. This practice, combined with their agricultural knowledge, allowed them to sustain large populations and build thriving communities. The story of early America is not a monolithic narrative, but a vibrant tapestry woven from diverse cultural threads. From the Atlantic coast to the Mississippi River, distinct societies emerged, each shaped by its environment, history, and cultural innovations. In the Southeast, the people of the Poverty Point culture, dating back to 3,600 years ago, constructed massive earthworks including mounds, ridges, and concentric circles. These monumental structures, built without metal tools or beasts of burden, stand as a testament to their ingenuity and social organization. As the first millennium AD approached, the cultural landscape of North America continued to evolve. Societies grew in size and complexity, driven by advancements in agriculture, trade, and social organization. New technologies emerged, transforming their lives and leaving an enduring mark on the archaeological record. In the eastern woodlands, the people of the Adena culture, named after a burial mound complex in Ohio, constructed large earthen mounds for ceremonial and burial purposes. These mounds, some reaching over 60 feet in height, often contained elaborate grave goods, reflecting their beliefs in the afterlife and the importance of honoring their ancestors. Across the eastern half of North America, a new cultural phenomenon began to reshape the landscape. From the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico, people began to construct monumental earthworks. These were not simple piles of dirt, but carefully engineered mounds, ridges, and enclosures, some of staggering size and complexity. These were the works of the mound builders, cultures now long gone but whose legacy is etched into the very soil of America. The mound builders were not a single, unified civilization. Rather, they represent a series of distinct cultures that flourished over a span of thousands of years. What united them was their remarkable ability to mobilize large workforces and manipulate the earth on a grand scale. These earthworks served a variety of purposes, from burial mounds and ceremonial centers to astronomical observatories and defensive fortifications. One of the earliest and most widespread mound-building cultures was the Adena, named after a burial mound complex in Ohio. Flourishing between 1000 BC and 200 AD, the Adena people occupied a vast territory stretching from the Ohio River Valley to the Great Lakes region. They were skilled hunters and gatherers, but also practiced agriculture, cultivating crops like squash, sunflowers, and gourds. The Adena are best known for their distinctive burial mounds, often conical in shape and constructed from layers of earth. These mounds, some reaching over 60 feet in height, served as final resting places for Adena elites and were often accompanied by elaborate grave goods, including copper ornaments, intricately carved stone pipes, and marine shell beads. Emerging from the foundations laid by the Adena, the Hopewell culture flourished between 200 BC and 500 AD. Centered in the Ohio River Valley, the Hopewell people created a vibrant and far-reaching cultural network that extended from the Great Plains to the Atlantic coast. They were skilled farmers, cultivating a variety of crops, including maize, beans, and squash, which supported a growing population and more complex social organization. The Hopewell are renowned for their mastery of trade and long-distance exchange. Their elaborate trade networks span thousands of miles, connecting them with diverse cultures and allowing them to acquire exotic materials, such as obsidian from the Rocky Mountains, copper from the Great Lakes, and marine shells from the Gulf of Mexico. These materials were not simply traded as commodities, but were transformed into exquisite works of art, reflecting the Hopewell's sophisticated craftsmanship and aesthetic sensibilities. Around 800 AD, a new power emerged in the heartland of North America, Cahokia. Located near present-day St. Louis, Missouri, Cahokia grew to become the largest and most complex urban center north of Mexico before the arrival of Europeans. At its peak, around 1200 AD, Cahokia boasted a population of tens of thousands, rivaling the size of many European cities of the time. Cahokia was a true metropolis, a center of political, economic, and religious power. Its inhabitants constructed a vast urban landscape encompassing over 120 earthen mounds spread across 6 square miles. At the heart of the city lay Monk's Mound, a massive platform mound rising 100 feet high and covering 14 acres, making it the largest prehistoric earthwork in North America. By 1300 AD, Cahokia had entered a period of decline, its population dwindling and its once bustling plazas falling silent. The exact reasons for Cahokia's decline remain a mystery, but factors such as climate change, resource depletion, or internal strife may have played a role. Despite its eventual demise, Cahokia stands as a testament to the ingenuity and adaptability of Native American societies, demonstrating their capacity to create complex urban centers long before European contact. The mound-building cultures of eastern North America left an indelible mark on the landscape and on the course of human history. Their monumental earthworks, intricate artifacts, and extensive trade networks challenge our understanding of the past and reveal the sophistication and interconnectedness of ancient societies. As we venture westward across the mighty Mississippi River, we embark on a journey through a land of immense beauty and rich history. We encounter a land of vast plains, towering mountains, and arid deserts, each region offering its own unique challenges and opportunities. This is a land of dramatic contrasts, where diverse cultures flourished, each adapting to the unique challenges and opportunities of their environment. The Native American tribes, with their deep-rooted traditions and wisdom, found ways to thrive in these varied landscapes. From the salmon-rich rivers of the Pacific Northwest, where the waters teemed with life, providing sustenance and a way of life for the tribes, to the windswept plains of the Great Plains, where the vast open spaces were home to nomadic tribes who followed the bison herds, Native American societies thrived for centuries before European contact, developing unique ways of life that reflected their deep connection to the land and its resources. Their knowledge of the environment was unparalleled, allowing them to live in harmony with nature. In the Pacific Northwest, towering forests of cedar and spruce provided the raw materials for distinctive plank houses and towering totem poles. These structures were not just homes or art, they were symbols of cultural identity and social status. Along the Pacific coast, abundant marine life, particularly salmon, sustained large populations and allowed for the development of complex social structures. The salmon runs were a time of celebration and community gathering, reinforcing social bonds and cultural traditions. The people of the Great Plains, masters of the horse, roamed vast distances, hunting bison and relying on their deep knowledge of the land to survive in a challenging environment. Their way of life was one of mobility and adaptability, with the bison at the heart of their culture, providing food, clothing, and materials for shelter. In the arid deserts of the Southwest, Native American tribes like the Puebloans built intricate adobe villages, showcasing their ingenuity in water conservation and agriculture. They cultivated crops such as corn, beans, and squash, adapting to the harsh climate with remarkable skill. Meanwhile, in the dense forest of the eastern woodlands, tribes constructed longhouses and practiced a mixed economy of hunting, gathering, and agriculture. Their societies were complex, with rich traditions and a deep spiritual connection to the land. Across all these regions, the diverse cultures of Native American tribes were united by a profound respect for nature and a deep sense of community. Their traditions, dances, and music continue to be celebrated today, a testament to their enduring legacy and resilience. Today, Native American communities continue to honor their heritage while navigating the challenges of the modern world. Efforts to preserve their languages, traditions, and lands are a testament to their enduring spirit and cultural richness. Along the rugged coastline of the Pacific Northwest, from present-day California to Alaska, a rich and vibrant tapestry of cultures emerged. Here, the bounty of the sea, particularly the annual salmon runs, provided sustenance and shaped the lives of the indigenous people. The Pacific Northwest is a land of towering forests, cascading waterfalls, and a coastline teeming with life. The abundance of salmon returning each year to spawn in the rivers and streams provided a reliable and plentiful source of protein. Using weirs, nets, and spears, the people of the Pacific Northwest harvested vast quantities of salmon, preserving the surplus for leaner times. This abundance allowed for the development of permanent villages and complex social structures, with chiefs, nobles, and commoners. The art and architecture of the Pacific Northwest coast are renowned for their distinctive style and intricate details. Totem poles, often carved from massive cedar logs, stand as towering expressions of clan lineage, history, and spiritual beliefs. These monumental sculptures, some reaching over 100 feet in height, depict a complex world of mythical creatures, ancestral figures, and important events. Each figure on a totem pole holds symbolic meaning, telling a story that has been passed down through generations. The raven, a trickster figure, represents intelligence and transformation. The bear, a powerful symbol of strength and protection, often represents the clan's founder. The killer whale, a creature of the sea, embodies power and spirituality. Stretching eastward from the Rocky Mountains to the Mississippi River, the Great Plains present a dramatic contrast to the lush forests of the Pacific Northwest. This vast expanse of grasslands, characterized by its seemingly endless horizons and a climate prone to extremes, posed unique challenges and opportunities for the people who called it home. Life on the Great Plains was a life of mobility. Nomadic tribes such as the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Comanche followed the seasonal migrations of the bison, the lifeblood of their culture. Bison provided not only food, but also clothing, shelter, tools, and fuel. For the nomadic tribes of the Great Plains, the bison was more than just a source of food and material goods. It was a sacred entity, woven into the very fabric of their culture and spirituality. The relationship between the Plains Indians and the bison was one of profound respect and reciprocity. They believed that the bison offered themselves as a gift, and in return, they were obligated to use every part of the animal with respect and gratitude. Before a hunt, hunters would often perform rituals and offer prayers to the spirit of the bison, seeking permission and thanking them for their sacrifice. They believed that treating the bison with disrespect would anger the spirits and jeopardize their future hunts. By the late 15th century, a new chapter began to unfold in the story of the Americas, a chapter that would forever alter the course of history. Across the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, driven by a thirst for exploration, wealth, and new trade routes, European ships appeared on the horizon. These intrepid explorers, venturing into uncharted waters, carried with them the seeds of profound change, both intended and unintended, that would reshape the destinies of both the Old World and the New. For the indigenous people of the Americas, this arrival marked a turning point, a moment when their world, shaped over millennia by their own unique histories, beliefs, and interactions, collided with a force unlike any they had encountered before. The Europeans, with their advanced technologies, different worldviews, and insatiable appetites for land and resources, would bring both opportunities and challenges, forever altering the cultural landscape of the Americas. Imagine the scene: a group of Native Americans, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of nature, witnessing for the first time the arrival of European ships on their shores. These massive vessels, with their billowing sails and strange technologies, must have seemed like visitors from another world, their intentions unknown, their presence both awe-inspiring and unsettling. The first encounters between Europeans and Native Americans were moments of profound cultural exchange, often marked by a mix of curiosity, fear, and misunderstanding. Europeans, accustomed to their own social hierarchies and religious beliefs, often viewed Native American cultures through a lens of ethnocentrism, seeing them as primitive or uncivilized. They marveled at the intricate crafts, complex social structures, and deep spiritual beliefs of the indigenous people, yet often failed to grasp the sophistication and resilience of these cultures, shaped over centuries of adaptation to the diverse environments of the Americas. The arrival of Europeans in the Americas triggered a biological and cultural exchange of unprecedented scale, known as the Columbian Exchange. Named after Christopher Columbus, the explorer credited with opening up the Americas to European exploration and colonization, this exchange had a profound impact on both hemispheres, transforming diets, landscapes, and societies in ways both subtle and dramatic. One of the most significant aspects of the Columbian Exchange was the introduction of new plants and animals to both continents. Europeans brought with them crops such as wheat, barley, oats, and rice, which quickly spread throughout the Americas, transforming agricultural practices and diets. They also introduced domesticated animals, including horses, cattle, pigs, and sheep, which provided new sources of food, labor, and transportation, but also had unintended consequences for Native American ecosystems. Perhaps the most devastating consequence of the Columbian Exchange was the introduction of European diseases to the Americas. Native American populations, isolated for centuries from the diseases that ravaged Europe, had no immunity to smallpox, measles, influenza, and other deadly pathogens. These diseases spread like wildfire through Native American communities, often outpacing European exploration and decimating entire populations. The impact of these epidemics was catastrophic. Villages were depopulated, social structures were shattered, and traditional knowledge was lost as elders succumbed to disease, leaving behind younger generations to cope with the devastation. The precise number of Native Americans who perished from European diseases is unknown, but scholars estimate that the population of the Americas may have declined by as much as 90% in the centuries following European contact. Despite the devastating impact of disease and the growing power of European empires, Native Americans did not passively succumb to their fate. They resisted European encroachment on their lands, cultures, and sovereignty in a variety of ways, from armed conflict to diplomacy to cultural adaptation. Their resilience in the face of overwhelming odds is a testament to their strength, ingenuity, and unwavering commitment to preserving their way of life. In some cases, Native Americans formed alliances with European powers, seeking to leverage these relationships to their advantage in the evolving political landscape of the Americas. They traded with Europeans, acquiring guns, metal tools, and other goods that could enhance their own power and influence. They also formed alliances with each other, uniting against common enemies and seeking to preserve their independence. By the early 17th century, the cultural landscape of North America had been irrevocably altered by the arrival of Europeans. The encounter between these two worlds, so different in their histories, beliefs, and ways of life, had unleashed a cascade of changes, some transformative, others devastating, that would shape the destiny of the continent for centuries to come. The era of European exploration and early contact had drawn to a close, giving way to a new era of colonization, conflict, and cultural exchange. The arrival of Europeans marked a turning point in the story of the Americas, a moment when the world's hemispheres collided, bringing both opportunities and challenges. The Columbian Exchange, while facilitating the exchange of plants, animals, and ideas, also unleashed deadly diseases that decimated Native American populations. The struggle for control of the Americas had begun, a conflict that would continue for generations and leave an enduring legacy on the land and its people. We've journeyed back in time, explored millennia, from the first footprints on these lands to the rise and fall of civilizations. Before European ships, a different America thrived. Not a pristine wilderness, but a land shaped by human hands, dreams, and ingenuity. Imagine the bustling plazas of Cahokia, a city rivaling those in Europe. Picture Hopewell artisans, their craftsmanship echoing across centuries. Hear the echoes of stories shared in Pacific Northwest plank houses, the whispers of ancestors in the wind sweeping the Great Plains. Even today, the echoes of this past resonate. The mounds of the Mississippi Valley, silent sentinels on the landscape, whisper of ancient rituals and beliefs. The intricate carvings on totem poles in the Pacific Northwest speak of ancestral spirits and clan lineages. Walk through the ruins of Chaco Canyon, Pueblo Bonito's majestic walls reaching towards the sky. Touch the weathered stones of Mesa Verde, cliff dwellings clinging precariously yet harmoniously to the canyon walls. The arrival of Europeans brought profound changes, often tragic. Disease, displacement, and cultural disruption left an indelible mark on Native American communities. Yet their story is not one of defeat, but of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. From the first encounters with Europeans to the present day, indigenous peoples have fought to preserve their cultures, languages, and identities. They have adapted to changing circumstances, incorporating new ideas and technologies while holding fast to their core values. The legacy of pre-Columbian America extends far beyond tangible artifacts and archaeological sites. It lives on in the very DNA of this nation, in the food we eat, the languages we speak, the values we hold dear. Consider the impact of maize, potatoes, and tomatoes, crops domesticated by indigenous farmers millennia ago. These staples of the American diet, now enjoyed worldwide, are a testament to the ingenuity and agricultural prowess of those who first cultivated them. By uncovering this hidden history, we challenge the traditional narratives that often shape our understanding of the past. We move beyond simplistic stories of discovery and conquest to embrace a more nuanced and inclusive view of history. For too long, the story of America has been told from a Eurocentric perspective, often ignoring or minimizing the contributions of indigenous peoples. This narrow view distorts our understanding of the past and perpetuates harmful stereotypes. The story of pre-Columbian America is not just a story of the past, it is a story that continues to unfold today. It is a story that belongs to all Americans regardless of background or heritage. By learning about this shared past, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and of the forces that have shaped this nation. We are all connected in some way to the people who first inhabited this land. Their legacy is our legacy. Their triumphs and tragedies are part of our collective story. By honoring their past, we enrich our present and build a more inclusive and just future. Before the arrival of European explorers, before the establishment of colonies, before the birth of a nation, there was another America. An America of diverse cultures, complex societies, and profound connections to the land. This is the story of that America, a story often untold, but no less remarkable. From the first footprints on these shores to the rise and fall of civilizations, the indigenous peoples of North America shaped this land for millennia. They were the first farmers, the first architects, the first artists, the first storytellers of this continent. Their legacy lives on in the earth itself, in the languages we speak, and in the values we hold dear.